I was in Washington for a conference. My fraternity brother was the finance director for Department of Children Education in Atlanta. And he and I was going out to dinner, and he said one of our frat brothers was going to pick us up. So we go out to eat, and we was talking. And I asked the frat brother that was in Washington, what kind of work he does? He said, I'm director of YMCA. Okay, what do y'all do? What kind of program you have? He started naming them, and Boys and Girls Club was one of them. And I said, well, what about tomorrow? Can I get a cab and come over and visit? Yeah, he said, I'll come pick you up. Show you what we're doing. So I went over to visit his Boys and Girls Club, and then asked him, what I need to do to get this, in Mississippi. What do I need to do? So he gave me the name and address of the regional office in Atlanta. So I came back home and I called and expressed interest in starting a Boys and Girls Club in Jackson County.
The Boys and Girls Clubs here in Jackson County focus in 1991 focus was on children in housing, public housing, Charles Warner Homes, Bellevue Apartments, Haywood Brooks. But the two that started in 1992 was Charles Warner Homes and Bellevue Apartments in Goshen. Those are the very first two units that started operation.
I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding.
In the meantime, from that 91 that you mentioned up until 92, we had a chance to get funding in place, and so we wrote a grant, to pay for that other funding and to hire some staff. And that funding came from Department of Education or Department of Health and Human Services out of Atlanta, and because they had grants for these kinds of programs, and so that's how we got the other part. We had that first steak and burger dinner to try to raise funds, but we knew that steak and burger dinner was not going to be enough to do what needed to be done. Okay, so we had to keep trying to write grants to keep it going. We went to United Way, and United Way said, well, we can't support because you're getting federal dollars, you're getting state dollars. Well, what can we do? Well, if it was out there by itself, then United Way, we can help.
A lot of our agencies apply for grants. They're grant funded. But as we know, grants don't always cover all the expenses, especially when it comes to operational costs. And so United Way is proud to be able to kind of fill that gap.
And our board has some trepidations about whether they want to spin it off out there by themselves, because they was worried about me not wanting to do that because I started it and they thought I wanted to run it, and I did want to run it. But it wasn't about me. It was about the program surviving. So I said, once I made them comfortable, that I don't have a problem with spinning it off because I want the program to survive. And if it means taking it out of my office in order for it to survive, then let's do that. So we agreed to let it go out there by itself. And United Way then agreed to fund it.
United Way have been very involved in the Boys and Girls Club because we were their funders, did a lot of fundraising for them. Actually funded the program, 95% of the program, since 1995.
In the last few years, we've really done a lot in the way of adding the Teaching Compassion program, which has gone into all the units of the Boys and Girls Club to teach the kids not only to care for themselves, but to care for their families, their friends, the community, and the world around them. And I think it's just been a win-win for both agencies, and we're very proud of that partnership.
We were really trying to establish ourselves as an organization in the local community. There were times when we were short of board members. We had a good public relations work to do in the community so that people would become familiar with Boys and Girls Clubs because they really didn't know what the organization was all about. So the board focused a lot of its attention on developing the club, being a positive impact in the community, and trying to recruit those board members who felt a passion for the organization and who were willing to put the energy into helping raise money, because fundraising has always been a major priority and it has always been a difficult thing to do. In good economies and bad economies, fundraising is hard. but I think the mission of the organization helped propel us in our fundraising opportunities or initiatives. But in the early days, it was getting the clubs together, getting the money, getting the board members, and getting the community on board as partners in what we were doing.
The support here in Jackson County, I think started through the county, as well as Jackson County Civic Action, with Billy Knight and his group of people. Mississippi Regional Housing, like I said, provided the facilities as well as funds. And once, I think maybe after 5 or 6 years, the funds started to dry up, and Boys and Girls Club of Jackson County started to feel the crunch.
One of the things that we've done is to focus on recruiting board members from a very diverse cross-section of the community, including each city in Jackson County and even outside of the incorporated areas.
I was appointed or asked to join the board.
1994.
1994-ish.
Yeah.
And I think at my second meeting, all of a sudden I was, Michael's gone, Michael's leaving, so they elected me to be president. So I said, oh boy. I had just been appointed to the, or elected to the city council in Gautier, and there again, there's a connection with the political activity, and that was good thinking on the board's part, in my opinion. But settled in as president, and the first thing you see is the annual audit report from the Certified Public Accountants. And what did that audit say? It said, I don't think this is an ongoing operation. So,
Not a viable entity.
right. So at that point, it looked very bad for everybody. Where's the money coming from? And I will speak for Ingalls Shipbuilding now. They have always been extremely good in supporting the community. I went and spent some time with Vice President Den Connect, explained the situation with the Boys and Girls Club, and the shipyard came through, provided a good chunk of money for the Boys and Girls Club of Jackson County, and that was maybe the base of the recovery of the club.
And my philosophy has always been, if you can get a good staff and they really do what they need to do, and the community can see that the program is helping and fulfilling its purpose, then the funding most likely will come. So we had a good staff then, we got a good staff now, and that's why I think the program is still successful.
I started in 1996 as a volunteer. I saw a need for, and still is a need for, male mentors. A lot of the young men seem to be a little lost, and we were then and still now losing them to the streets. And I felt though I didn't have anybody to step in and play that male role in my life, so that's what I wanted to be to others.
Greetings, my name is Chad Dean. I'm the president of the Boys and Girls Club Alumni Association. The Boys and Girls Club had a great impact on my life. It just gave us a chance just to be kids, to play in a positive environment. It gave us opportunities just to see positive role models, to go out and just be kids. And for that, I'm grateful. With positive role models like Jennifer Anderson, Catherine Glad, and James Davis, I was able to finish high school and college. I'm now a subcontractor 3 for L3. The staff and the community, I want to just say thank you.
Growing up as a club member at the Boys and Girls Club, I never knew what it was, just heard of it. When I got there, it was other kids there, and like I say, my experience there was very fun. I loved it, and I went every year ever since then, and ever since up until I graduated high school. And then now I'm working for the Boys and Girls Club, and this will be my 3rd year. And my experience working, like I said, I just want to get back to the community by working and help other kids, because once I was that child who needed help.
Because she gets to go swimming. I like the Boys and Girls Club because we have fun summer programs.
The Boys and Girls Club taught me compassion, which I carried with me throughout high school, throughout college, and now in my profession as a case manager working with mentally ill consumers. It taught me to learn how to respect people.
I'm Rihanna, and my favorite part of the after school program is Money Matters because I learned to save and manage money.
Boys and Girls Club taught me responsibility. Being a club member and given the task of running the store was a great opportunity. It was something that every club member wasn't allowed to do. So, of course, I took great passion, and it was exciting because the cash register we used was actually a toy cash register. It actually beep, 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 beep. But we used it. I mean, because that's what you were supposed to do. You take pride in everything you do. So I would have to say that responsibility is one of the biggest things that the Boys and Girls Club taught me.
My name is D'Angelo, and I like playing basketball.
My name is Seneca Wilson, and the Boys and Girls Club helped me to gain that confidence and to go after the things that I wanted in life.
My name is Kyle. I am an alumni from the Boys and Girls Club. I've been going to the Boys and Girls Club since I was 5 years old, and I was probably one of the number one kids that was more troublesome.
Kyle was just one of those kids that was challenging. You know, he wasn't a club member of mine, but he was a club member of the organization. He was at the Pascagoula unit, and Mr. James was his unit director at the time. Okay. And he was one of those kids that he's going to try you regardless. He's going to try you. He's going to talk back to you. He's going to do those type of things. But at the same time, like I said before, he told me at the end when he got a little older why he was doing those things.
Right.
But I remember one day when we was at the swimming pool, and I was walking around the swimming pool, and the kids kept saying, "Miss Jennifer, we're going to push you in." I kept saying, "You're not going to push me in. You know, I'm not worried about that." So after the kids started talking about it, it went away. And before I know it, I was pushed in the pool, and Kyle was the club member that took it upon himself that he would do it because he gets in trouble all the time. So ain't nothing going to happen different from him. So he pushed me in the pool. When I got pushed in that pool,
when did you tell me?
I was under that pool and I didn't know what was going on. The kids, all I kept hearing the kids say, "Stand up, Miss Jennifer, just stand up." Because I was in the 3 feet, whatever it is. So they was telling me, just stand up. So I stood up and realized that I was really way over the water. But at the time, like I said, I'm not a swimmer and I don't really do the water thing. So I was so upset with Kyle that day. And I think I suspended him like for the rest of the year, which was probably about 8 months left in the year. And I suspended him. But every day I came to the club, he would sit on the stairway in front of the club because he couldn't go in the building, and he would sit there every day with them lips poked out and his jaws poked out, and he would sit there every day until I just felt bad. I said, "Okay, I'm gonna let you back in this club."
She told me I couldn't come back, and I just started running my mouth, and it went from being suspended to I couldn't come back anymore. I made a promise to myself that I was gonna go talk to Miss Jennifer, but I said I was gonna write her a letter, and the letter I wrote, it was like 3 pages, but to this day I never gave her that letter. And I just told myself, well, it's best to just go talk to her. The first thing she got in the car, she didn't say hey to nobody. She was like, "Kyle, what are you doing here?" I said, "I need to talk to you." She said, "What you want to talk to me about?" And I told her, I said, I apologize for the way I acted. And somebody told her that boy right there is bad. And one thing I heard her say was, "He's not bad. He's one of our most challenged children." It was just so funny when I had my firstborn son. When he was born, first thing they said was, "Oh Lord, we got another Kyle." And it was so funny because the first thing I said to my mom was, "My son will be a part of the Boys and Girls Club."
Boys and Girls Club is more than just a place where people drop their kids off and then they pick them up. It does do that, which is important because it provides an opportunity for every parent in our community to work. If they need to get a paycheck, they can work. But it also, while your children are there, they're being taught. They're not just shooting basketball. They are shooting basketball, but they're doing way more than shooting basketball. They're learning things. They're learning. They have to get their homework done. They have to take classes, and they learn skills and morals and relationships and social skills and things of that nature. Things to make people's lives better.
I believe if everyone plays their part, the Boys and Girls Club can continue to be a leading vehicle in changing lives in the youth of Jackson County.
I'm a Boys and Girls Club kid.
I am a Boys and Girls Club kid.
For 25 years, the Boys and Girls Club of Jackson County has helped transform the lives of the youth in our community by creating a passageway to help transform dreams into reality. Thank you for your continued support. I hope you all are enjoying the evening, and thank you so much for helping great futures start here.